Today on The World Today, the U.S. FDA authorizes Merck's COVID-19 oral antiviral pill. Russia calls on the West to give immediate security guarantees to diffuse the crisis prompted by Russia's military near Ukraine borders. Plus, a famous statue at the University of Hong Kong is brought down, marking the Tiananmen Square massacre. Hello and welcome to The World Today. I'm Layo Adegoke. Let's begin in Hong Kong, where a famous statue at the University of Hong Kong marking the Tiananmen Square massacre was removed. Well, the statue showed piled up corpses to commemorate the hundreds, possibly thousands of pro-democracy protesters killed by Chinese authorities back in 1989. Well, it is one of the few remaining public memorials in Hong Kong commemorating that incident. Its removal comes as Beijing has increasingly been cracking down on political dissent in Hong Kong. The city used to be one of the few places in China that allowed public commemoration of the Tiananmen Square protest. That's a highly sensitive topic in the country. In the meantime, reactions have been trailing the removal of the statue. Students and onlookers gathered at the University of Hong Kong on Thursday morning to take pictures, film and contemplate on the removal of the statue that stood in the campus for more than 2 decades. Well, the artwork of anguished human torsos is one of the few remaining public memorials in the former British colony to remember the bloody crackdown that is still a taboo topic in mainland China. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has called on the West to give immediate security guarantees to defuse a crisis prompted by Russia's military buildup near Ukraine's borders. Mr. Putin had demanded that NATO abandon military activity in Eastern Europe and not admit Ukraine as a member. He has also threatened military measures but denies planning to invade Ukraine. Ukraine security official says more than 100,000 Russian troops have been sent close to its borders, and the U.S. has threatened Mr. Putin with sanctions if Ukraine comes under attack. But the Russian leader says military measures are not his preferred choice, and he's expressing hope that talks will remain in place with the U.S. early next year in Geneva. In the meantime, both Russia and Ukraine have agreed to restore a 2020 ceasefire deal in eastern Ukraine, prompting a top official in Kyiv to say that the coming holidays should be peaceful. Ukrainian Presidential Chief of Staff Andriy Yermak hailed the deal brokered by Europe's security organization as a step towards de-escalation. The agreement is also coinciding with heightened tensions in Ukraine. Well, Ukraine and the West say Russia has sent 100,000 troops near the border. Earlier this week, Russian President Putin threatened adequate military technical response measures if what he called the West's aggressive line continued. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has authorized Merck & Co.'s antiviral pill for COVID-19 after giving the go-ahead to a similar treatment from Pfizer Inc. a day earlier. Merck's drug, Molnupiravir, developed in Ridgeback Biotherapeutics, was shown to reduce hospitalizations and deaths by around 30% in a clinical trial of high-risk individuals early in the course of their illness. Well, the agency authorized the oral drug for the treatment of mild to moderate COVID-19 in adults who are at risk of severe disease and for whom alternative COVID-19 treatments are not accessible for clinical appropriate. The U.S. government has a contract to buy as many as 5 million courses of the drug for $700 per course. The drug is not authorized for use in patients younger than 18 because the drug may affect bone and cartilage growth. Meanwhile, the 7-day average of COVID-19 cases in the United States increased by 25% from the previous week to about 149,300 cases per day. That's according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director, Mikhail Walensky, who says the increase in Omicron proportion is what was anticipated and what was prepared for. The Omicron variant of the coronavirus represents approximately 73% of cases across the country and is as high as 90% of cases in some areas, such as the Eastern Atlantic states, parts of the Midwest, South, and Northern Pacific states. Americans are facing a second Christmas of upended holiday plans with a surge in COVID-19 infections that's fueled now by the dominant Omicron variant.
Choose to remain unvaccinated, he'll issue a stark warning and make clear unvaccinated individuals will continue to drive hospitalizations and deaths. That is not trying to scare people, or maybe it is trying to make clear to people in the country what the risks are here of not being vaccinated. What is clear is that we're not in the same place that we were in. This is something he'll reiterate tomorrow as well. The beginning of the pandemic, thanks to the president's extraordinary work.
Joining us now to discuss more in the U.S. is our Washington, D.C. correspondent, Maria Bird. Hello, Maria. What more can you tell us about this Merck's COVID-19 pill?
Hello. This pill, I think, has been long expected. People have been waiting for this to see how and which we're going to be able to combat the virus. Actually, it cannot come at a better time with the Omicron variant running rampant and moving at a pace never been seen before. And I believe what's hopeful, especially with the medical community, is that this pill will be able to be administered and it will prevent individuals having to be hospitalized. And I think that is the number one goal of this time, is to be able to address the virus at the onset, in the beginning stages, so that individuals can have greater survival rates and quickly get through the virus symptoms.
And how are citizens reacting to this new development?
The reactions for this new development are one that I think are very welcomed. I think that Americans are getting very tired and very weary with COVID-19, and we still have a large members of our community that are still not vaccinated. And so when you look at those kind of coming together, the tiredness of having to wear masks, tired of always worrying about what's going to be next and what's going to happen, I think this is going to be a bit of a reprieve for individuals, even those who are vaccinated, who have contracted the virus as well.
Well, it's the second Christmas for Americans, of upended holiday plans, and with the surge of the Omicron variant, how are they coping?
Well, the holiday plans are moving forward for those who are vaccinated. Vaccinated individuals, we have seen our airline industry has spiked tremendously over the past few weeks. The testing for the virus, for COVID-19 testing sites have been extremely busy. The lines have been sometimes 2 hours long, if not longer, just to get tested. Individuals are trying to test before they go see loved ones and before they gather for the holidays. But so for those who are vaccinated, I believe the holiday plans are continuing. The challenge is going to be for those who are unvaccinated, because vaccinated families are being very hesitant with having individuals over that are not vaccinated. So those are the individuals that will definitely be seeing another year of quite a different holiday season.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you.
Well, let's get more updates on the pandemic in our COVID-19 Global Report.
Americans are facing the second Christmas of upended holiday plans, with a surge in COVID-19 infections fueled by the non-dominant Omicron variant, forcing some people to cancel travel and fret about whether it is safe to visit loved ones. The swift rise in infections from Omicron, first detected last month and now accounting for 73% of U.S. cases, has caused fresh concern around holiday travel. California will require healthcare workers and workers in high-risk congregate settings to get the COVID-19 vaccine booster by February 1st. Governor Gavin Newsom has said, as part of the state's response to the highly transmissible Omicron variant. Russian President Vladimir Putin says he hopes Russia could vaccinate enough people to reach collective COVID-19 immunity next year, as he urges more Russians to get inoculated.
Current collective immunity level in Russia is 59.4%. I mean, the citizens who have recovered from COVID-19 and those who are vaccinated. About 70 million have received the first shot, and a little over 70 million have received 2 shots. But this is not enough. We need a collective immunity level of around 80%. I hope that by next year, by the end of the first quarter or in the second quarter, we will reach such level.
Australia's most populous state has reintroduced COVID-19 curbs as infections hit a record daily rise of 8,200 amid an outbreak of the highly infectious Omicron variant and a rush on already stretched testing clinics.
As of midnight tonight, we will be requiring that masks are worn in indoor settings. We are encouraging people, particularly over the holiday period, if you can work from home, please work from home. We do want to limit mobility just as we get through this period of time, and particularly in relation to ensuring that our health workers are able to be on the job and provide that care and support for those who are unwell.
The Chinese city of Xi'an has imposed tight curbs on outbound travel and commuting within the city, putting its 13 million residents in a lockdown as the new COVID-19 outbreak sees community cases tick higher.
Thank you very much for following WHO.
December the 26th will mark 1 month since the World Health Organization named COVID-19 variant B11529 called Omicron a variant on concern. Since then, its higher risk of transmissibility has accelerated the imposition of tighter restrictions across a number of countries in a bid to stem the new variant spread.
Well, officials are estimating that around 1.2 million people in England are likely to be infected with COVID-19 now as at last week, and that's representing 1 in 45 of the population, and a new pandemic record as the Omicron variant spreads rapidly. Well, London was worst hit with an estimated 1 in 30 people infected with the coronavirus last week. That's according to the figures from the Office for National Statistics. Well, in the previous 2 weeks, an estimated 1 in 60 people in England were also infected. The records date back to May 2020. Omicron is likely by now the dominant variant circulating in England. According to analysis, Britain reported more than 100,000 new daily COVID-19 cases for the first time on Wednesday. The rapid spread of Omicron has also driven a surge in cases in the last 7 days, with the total rising by 643,219, and that's about 59%. Still ahead on the program. As Christmas Day approaches, we go around the world to see more preparations in different countries. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the program. We continue in Thailand, where Bangkok Port Custom Office has intercepted more than 193 kilograms of amphetamine hidden in punching bags bound for Australia, where it would have been a street value of almost $30 million. Officials say the drugs, packaged in bags each weighing over 10 kg, were hidden in 15 punching bags. They also told a news conference that the shipment was inspected by Thai customs after authorities grew suspicious, since the Thai-made boxing training tool is not in high demand in Australia. However, they did not provide details of when the drugs were seized.
The destination, it's currently under active investigation, but I will say that as Australia does remain a target for organised crime and the illicit narcotics, it would go to major population centres. Australia consumes around 11 tonnes of methamphetamine per year and spends over $11 billion on illicit narcotics. So there's a market for it. And disrupting it offshore in countries such as Thailand is fantastic, and we thank Thailand for the cooperation.
Let's move now to our Christmas stories. Clarence House has said the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall will be with the Queen on Christmas Day. It comes after Buckingham Palace announced the Queen had cancelled spending Christmas at Sandringham, Norfolk, amid concerns about the rising levels of the Omicron variant. Now, instead, she will spend the day in Windsor as she did last year, 2020. The palace said it was a personal decision and is reflecting a precautionary approach. It has not yet been confirmed whether Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, however, will be spending Christmas.
To say a huge thank you to all those amazing people out there who've supported their communities. We also wanted to recognise those whose struggles perhaps have been less visible too. We've been through such a bleak time. We've seen so many challenges. We've lost our loved ones. We've seen our frontline workers under how much we need each other and how acts of kindness and love.
Well, that's the Duchess of Cambridge, Kate, who's thanking amazing people, as she put it, who've supported their local communities during recent challenging times in that special video message to introduce to her community choral service broadcast. Speaking from London's Westminster Abbey, a day before royal carols together at Christmas was pre-recorded on December 8th, the Duchess also recognized those whose struggles perhaps have been less visible. The message was recorded during a visit by the Duchess to the Abbey to help with preparations, including decorating Christmas trees donated by Britain's Queen Elizabeth from Windsor Great Park and arranging wreaths that were donated by the Royal Horticultural Society.
We wanted to say a huge thank you to all those amazing people out there who've supported their communities. We also wanted to recognise those whose struggles perhaps have been less visible.
Over at the Vatican, Pope Francis was speaking to Vatican administrators in his annual Christmas greetings, and he's telling them to be humble, but spared them the blistering critique of the bureaucracy he has served up in previous years. Well, in an address to the Courier, as the Catholic Church's central bureaucracy is known, he used the word humility nearly 30 times, but his approach was notably softer than in the past. He says the administrators, including cardinals and bishops, as well as lower-level staff, should not remain closed in their own little world, form cliques, or feel they are indispensable. They should instead stick to a sober lifestyle as they help him administer the 1.3 billion member Roman Catholic Church from its headquarters in the Vatican. The Pope has used the occasion in the past to list what he calls the illnesses and diseases of the Vatican's central bureaucracy.
Arriva il momento nell'esistenza di ognuno dietro il rivestimento della gloria di questo mondo, ma nella pienezza di una vita sincera, senza più bisogno di armature e di maschere.
Let's now check out how nations around the world are celebrating and getting ready for December 25th.
Crowded market in Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos, 27-year-old Blessing Abba negotiates the price of turkey and other food items as she goes about her Christmas shopping, which she complains now costs more than ever before. She paid 2,500 naira for the turkey, up 25% from 2 months ago, while the 10 tomatoes she got for 200 naira and are reduced to 7. A reminder that prices in Africa's biggest economy are still rising sharply, even though inflation has eased.
For Christmas, shopping now is a whole lot because things are more expensive than before. I mean, last time or 2 months ago, our Christmas was 100 and
133 كيفك شو اخبارك؟ كل سنه وانتم طيبين. 134 فكر 124 اعطيها عيسى لما سليمان عيسى لكان عيسى Yesterday is better than last year with the pandemic, but always, whatever happened in Jerusalem or around the world, I still give my message, peace and love and giving. And if the peace starts from the heart of the world, Jerusalem, it will be peace all around the world. That's my message, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Ho, ho, Holy Land! شو اسمك يا كلب؟ عندي عشان
Last year was also bad. Last year we were also mostly closed, and this year it's even worse because the skies are completely closed. Jerusalem tourism industry is a very important part of our economy, and we've gone from 5 million tourists before the pandemic to 200,000 tourists this year only, and now completely closing of the skies. So Christmas and Hanukkah has been completely devastated, and we're suffering tremendously in the city, which is the most.
Isa Kassisieh, a Palestinian Christian known as Jerusalem Santa, brings holiday cheer to residents as concerns over Omicron rise. Dressed as Santa, Kassisieh rides a camel along Jerusalem Old City walls and through Jafar Gate, where he distributes Christmas trees provided by the municipality.
Today is better than last year with the pandemic, but always, whatever happened in Jerusalem or around the world, I still give my message, peace and love and giving. And if the peace starts from the heart of the world, Jerusalem, it will be peace all around the world. That's my message, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Ho, ho, Holy Land!
Last year was also bad. Last year we were also mostly closed, and this year it's even worse because the skies are completely closed. Jerusalem tourism industry is a very important part of our economy, and we've gone from 5 million tourists before the pandemic to 200,000 tourists this year only, and now completely closing of the skies. So Christmas and Hanukkah has been completely devastated, and we're suffering tremendously in the city, which is the leading tourism city of the state of Israel.
Some people remain hopeful the new variant won't ruin another holiday season in the Holy Land. However, since the pandemic started, the number of those visiting the area has significantly reduced. This December has seen Israel shut out foreign travelers for 14 days to try to prevent the Omicron variant taking hold. Absolute Santas brings festive cheer and Christmas gifts to children at a hospital in Rome. The Red Troop of Santas, members of the Italian Alpine Rescue, rappels down the pediatric ward at Policlinico Umberto I Hospital to the delight of children, families and staff watching through the windows and from the ground. After completing 3 abseils from a chimney and from the roof of the pediatric ward, the Santas went inside the hospital to deliver presents to children. Despite the rise in the Omicron variant of the coronavirus and the reported shortage among Santa Claus characters across the US, some Santas are remaining busy in the final stretch of the Christmas season. Last year, the pandemic forced some in-person Santas to go on hiatus for the season. Like the wider public, many of those Santas instead transitioned to online performances. For Kirsty, the opportunity to return to in-person after last year's virtual visits is too good to pass up.
Skyrocketing again. However, this venue in particular has been very spectacular about making sure everybody's staying nice.
And that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Adegoke.